What's going on, motivators? We got a new video. We got to get into Florida. DeSantis versus Hakeem Jeffries, redistricting. Let's get into this.
Fox moves their headquarters down to Florida. I mean, so many industries are doing it.
You're killing me. Now, next one, Senator. Florida's Governor DeSantis. He's facing some pressure to redistrict his state after the Democrats won in Virginia. Leader Hakeem Jeffries telling Florida to F around and find out. Well, here's what DeSantis had to say.
Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now. And under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking up 5 seats.
Were Republican on the run, or the Democrats were the one who ran away out of their own states and some of them got fined? Was it Republican who ran? And because of what Texas did, we no longer have the great Jasmine Crockett running because she pretty much going to lose her district.
They'll be fortunate if they get 2 or 3. While in California, we are going to get all 5. The Republicans are dummy mandering their way into the minority before a single vote is cast because they started this war and we're going to finish it.
And this is a lie too. This is what I'm saying. These people lie directly to your face. They have started it. They're the worst at it. They're not going to tell you that they gerrymandered back in 2016. But these people have TDS and everything starts with Trump for some weird reason. Everything before Trump does not matter. It definitely existed. Democrats with their craziness. I have touted back in 2000, Maryland map was very, very fair. 4-4. They have gerrymandered it. They have gerrymandered it in 2004, 2012, 2016. Now it's 7-1. Almost the same as what Virginia is trying. These people are lying to your face. And when Republicans start doing the same thing, they're like, please don't do it. You're not supposed to do that, Republican. It's only going to get worse for you because we're going to do it again. Guess what? They have been doing it for years.
And all the tape.
I will pay for you to come down to Florida and campaign. I'll put you up in the Florida governor's mansion. We'll take you fishing. We'll do all this stuff. There's nothing that could be better for Republicans in Florida than to see Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, everywhere around.
They hate this about DeSantis. They hate the fact that DeSantis does not care. You mess with him, he's going to go tenfold. You remember what happened during Biden administration and all the illegals being in? What did he do? He busted them back into their own Democrat cities and state. They know that DeSantis is one of those guys where he calls it as he sees it. And then he makes you pay the same way in how he sees it. So they know that if he put his mind to something, he's going to make it happen. So they're trying to threaten him. But they know they can't threaten DeSantis. They know they cannot.
On this state, voters will not like what they see. They will not want that type of ideology. And so the door is open. The invitation's out there.
Well, Senator, would you support Florida redistricting?
This follows exactly what we were talking about. You are seeing failed blue radical states and cities in budget deficits. We talked about that right before this segment. People are recognizing that these policies are driving cities and states into the ground. They're moving. So for a long...
Yeah, we all saw what just happened in New York with Mondani and Mayor Hochul. They're trying to tax more for the rich after more 50%, 56% in what they're paying. And they were like, good, but no thank you. We're going to move down to Florida or Texas. These people are insane. They are making the economy for their cities bad because of the bad policies that they keep enacting over and over again. But yet, the people who live there, majority of them at that, keep voting for the same failed policies. Unless it's being rigged, which I definitely think there might be some issue with the rigging part of it.
long time, Governor DeSantis has been saying, look, Florida's had the largest population growth probably in the nation in the last 5 years. We need to start looking at that. We need to recognize that other states are redistricting. And he understands there may be a big Supreme Court case coming down the line.
Should you do
and
it?
I think he's taking that all into calculation. I think the legislature is too. And I think they should, because, you know, you're looking at the Democrats.
The thing is about the Democrat Party is like, how many of them are going to do the right thing? Never. Not one of them. They're not going to do the right thing. Never. Republicans now in turn have to go ahead and fight fire with fire. Stop being in the sidelines. Stop being weak. And stop playing, well, yes, we are the better. Guess what? The whole school institution is failing now because of Republican on the sideline. We can't have that happening anymore.
Democrat Party is ruthless. And what they did, you know, they wrote a ballot initiative that was completely disingenuous. That this is not saving democracy. If you look at the actual vote totals by county, which I did this morning, it proves that the 6-to-5 ratio is accurate. This is a sham. I've got a lot of friends here in Congress.
It was very accurate. If you check Virginia again, Virginia was a purple state, like I keep saying. It was 50 to 49.7, 49.8. They won by a very slim margin. Not to mention, a lot of shenanigans happened in some of the counties that they had. Fairfax counties left the voter roll open until 8 p.m. These people, they don't play fair. They don't play fair, but still, it was still very close. Yet, with this new proposal, they made it very unbalanced. 9-1. 9-1. You can't make this up.
Republicans in Virginia, and if this goes through, you know, I'll miss them. But I don't even know if I'm going to get reelected.
These moderates up here are about to kill us. We need to start playing hardball on this redistricting stuff. It's ridiculous. We're going to lose everything because we don't have any guts to fight it. You know, we're not educating our voters. We're not registering people to vote. You know, we hang out at the country club with the Chamber of Commerce crowd, and we get our hats handed to us.
No, we started off 6 points down. And we knew this was always going to be a fight. We've been saying from the beginning this was not California. And we came off of a successful no gerrymandering constitutional amendment just 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm pleased that we won by 3 percentage points. It was by no means a done deal.
We will not let Donald Trump.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Republicans need to get off their butts, right? Stop playing in Congress, right? Laissez-faire mentality. We have elections to win. When Democrats do something, we got to meet them with the same attitude, the same fire, the same resolve. They gerrymander, you got to gerrymander too, but just make sure it's legal so that we are not being overturned like how they're about to be overturned in Virginia. So the same thing that they're fighting, we're fighting fire with fire. For too long, we have stood on the sideline. Tim is right. For too long, we have stood on the sideline and just saying we're going to take it. Right now, we can't take those things anymore. We have to push back. Florida, let's go.
Term elections by gerrymandering maps all across the country without a forceful democratic response. That is what you saw in Virginia. That is what you will see in Florida. And that is what has taken place all across the country.
Again, the greatest lie they keep telling you over and over again is that this whole thing started way before Trump. And the only thing they're going to tell their voters is Trump is the one making that. I'm telling you, go do your own research. Do your own research. Democrat or Republicans, do your own research. Gerrymandering happened way before Trump came in office and told Texas to gerrymander last year. This thing has been a very significant part of the Democrats' party. This is a core of Democrats' politics, gerrymandering, for years. Some states are zero right now because of how gerrymandered they are. And some, you got to cross border lines to get to other places because of how gerrymandered they are. Like I keep touting, Maryland is so bad. It's happened over and over again, but they're going to try to lie to you and tell you that it's only happening now because Trump started it in 2025. It's all a lie. Go verify for yourself.
What are they doing to face this crisis of devastating policies in their states? They're looking at ways on how we can count illegal immigrants in the census, how we can manipulate elections, how we can do mass unsolicited mail-out ballots. I mean, the things that they're doing are undermining the integrity of elections as the original constitution.
I mean, that's all Democrats know how to do, is find new ways to cheat. When the new ways to find a cheat fails them, they find another new way to do it. Over and over again. These people could never win fairly. And when Republicans play the same game they play, they call foul. Imagine that.
One out there. All eyes now on Ron DeSantis. Now, there's a state law in Florida that was passed a number of years ago which suggested that the state was gerrymandered enough that you could not, in fact, actually redo the maps, that they had to be fair and nonpartisan. It seems that DeSantis and the Republicans in power in the state of Florida seem to be angling to try and create more Republican-leaning House seats in the state. Two questions for you. One, what's the feasibility of them being able to push it through and get around that state law? And two, what's the timing look like? Could they, in theory, pull this off ahead of the November midterms?
Yeah, look, I think they got three problems. The first, as you point out, is actually not a state law. It's actually in the state constitution. And it was put there by the voters of Florida, who overcame opposition from Republicans and put in the state constitution a prohibition against partisan gerrymandering, disadvantaging a party or a candidate based on their party. And this, it would clearly violate it. And if Republicans think I am not serious about this, I've sued using this provision before and blocked their maps, and will do so here if they violate it again. So
again, if you have nothing to fear, Elias, why? Why go ahead and try to sue and stop them? These people, they want it to be done in their state, but they're screaming foul when someone is trying to do it in the other state. I didn't hear Elias crying that in Virginia, it was against the Constitution in Virginia to do it the way they did it and how they lied to people in the voter roll. But now he's going against Florida because they're playing scared now. Crap. They're doing the same thing that we've been touting and playing games with for years. Republicans are now doing it. We got to try to sue now. Amazing.
that's number one. Number two, look, they have a fundamental problem with math, which is that Florida's already really gerrymandered. And so if they try to gain more Republican seats, and certainly if they try to gain the kind of numbers that Donald Trump is pushing them to do, they are going to spread themselves too thin, and it will backfire. And I say that as someone who did not say that about Texas. A lot of Democrats were saying, you know, it's going to be a dummy mander. I'm like, no, it's not going to be a dummy mander. Probably won't be 5 seats, maybe 3 seats, but it's not going to backfire. In Florida, they face a real likelihood that if they try to add more seats, they will actually net lose seats because of the shifting on.
Again, why are you worried? If it's going to be something that we're going to have less seat as far as netting less seats, should not be a positive for Democrats. So you should be raving and be like, I welcome you to do it. But again, they're telling don't do it. I'm telling you, these people are so manipulative in the way they act.
Popularity of Republicans. And the third problem is that I think it's going to be hard to get the state legislature to go along with this. These Republicans in Florida are looking at the polls themselves. And so I think DeSantis has boxed himself in here, but I can promise him this, Ron DeSantis, you pass an illegal map, you're going to get sued, and you're going to get sued fast. And yes, we are going to get relief for 2026.
Well, Mark Elias said it. We will be watching what happens in Florida. I mean, just months ago, the state Senate president in Florida sent out a memo to the legislatures, Mark, basically being like, well, I don't know if we should do this. So to your point, it might not even happen. We will see what goes down next week.
But now we're doing it because of Virginia. So regardless of what happened in Virginia, if it gets overturned or not, Florida should still do it, right? Still do it legally so that we can be on top. I'm telling you, you have to meet those Democrats where they are. You cannot be in a sideline any longer. We have been in silence for way too long and let the country be taken over by crazy liberals. Florida, do it.
I think a Republican saying that Virginia, you guys getting, Democrats getting 10 for 1 is totally unconstitutional and wrong.
Democrats have attempted and asked Republicans for 10 years to ban partisan gerrymandering. And for 10 years, Republicans have said no.
Again, lies, lies, lies. In 2016, they did it. Again, Democrats are the ones, right, on the playground. They're going to punch you, and they're going to be like, you know what? Everything is cool now. You can't punch me. Knowing that they punched you already, now they're going to be like, yo, we're good now. A fair game should be like, you punch me, I should be able to punch you back, and now we are fair. Not with Democrats. They're like, yeah, we have done it for so many years prior. Hey, we're in a good place. You guys don't do it right now. And then they'll be like, yo, it's fair. No, they should be able to do it because you've been playing unfair for years.
No, Republicans have fought for partisan gerrymanders across the United States of America, and these are the rules that they have set. And so if the Republican Party wanted to start this, they did this in North Carolina. They drew out 3 Democratic members of Congress in North Carolina. They drew out in Texas. They redid Texas. What they're just mad at is that they have been accustomed to a Democratic Party that rolls over, doesn't fight, and takes everything sitting down. And what
I think it's the inverse there, AOC. What they've been accustomed to is not doing a darn thing when Democrats did something like that, gerrymandering. Because we always tout, oh my, we're the good guys, we're not going to do anything. Now they're playing back. Now they're firing back, plain and simple. Playing fire with fire, and you guys don't like it.
they're mad at right now is that we are here in a new day. And we have been asking the Democratic Party to stand up and fight, and now they did, and now the Republican Party doesn't like the fact that they are fighting against someone who actually will stand up for the American people. So if Republicans decide that they would like to revisit a ban on partisan gerrymandering, I welcome them. We have the bill right here to end this all today, but they don't want to because they like pursuing and continuing to enact an unfair electoral landscape. And so we have an obligation to defend ourselves. Thank you.
Again, you could hear and listen to the scam. These people are lying to your face. And we all know Democrat, the things that they do is what they're going to accuse you of doing because they know they've been doing those same things for years. Democrats are slimy, very, very slimy. And they hate when Republicans start playing the slimy games too. So like I said, Republicans, now is your chance. Put everything into the ring because Democrats have placed everything into the ring. Let's get it. Every state that could gerrymander in the last 6 months, redistrict and gerrymander your state legally so that we could gain the advantage back in the midterms. Let's get into this. So let me know what you think inside the comments. All right, motivators, if you enjoy what you've seen and heard, please like, comment, share, but most importantly, subscribe to A Black Veteran's Perspective. Stay motivated.